I gotta admit, at one point in my life, I was an F-Zero fan. I did play F-Zero on Super Nintendo, then F-Zero X, and of course F-Zero GX. How do I play it? I think you already figured it out. Well, seeing that F-Zero is not coming back anytime soon, regardless of how many socks I ate, I figure I might as well do something to fuel my F-Zero desire. Speed King Neo Kobe 2045 is developed and published by Konami in 1995. It was an arcade racer that was pretty unique for its time. From the information I've seen, this is the look of the arcade machine. You would sit inside and the machine would move according to your movement. Think of it something like motion control. You know, like police 24/7. Unfortunately, nothing much was known about the game itself. There were no gameplay footages or anything related to the machine that I can find online. I can only assume the machine is pretty rare, but that's not doom and gloom. In December of 1996, Konami ported this game exclusively to PlayStation 1, handled by KCET, Konami Computer Entertainment Tokyo, who contributed to some Castlevania games along with other football titles. It's football, shut up. Anyway, upon booting up the game, you are treated to a pretty nice FMV intro, and I guess I gotta mention this, but the game takes place in Neo Kobe, a dystopian city that was also featured in Hideo Kojima's very own Snatcher. I haven't played that, so I can't say much of it. Just a fun fact, you know. But does that mean the game will be good due to the influence? Well, here's your title screen. You got your arcade mode, time trial, AI battle, and practice. You have 4 courses to select with varying difficulties. You then can select different ships, which are definitely not references to F-Zero. Oh hey! Solid Snake is here too. I guess he needs a break from stealth mission. Once you're done, it's time to race. It's lights out and away we go, oh wait. Yup, your eyes aren't fooling you. When you start the game, it runs at solid 60 frames per second. But then when you race, it drops down to 30. Not a deal breaker as long as the game runs smoothly. But it is a deal breaker. Oh my Snatcher. What is happening? The game can't seem to remain consistent at 30 frames per second. It doesn't matter where you are on the track, as the game itself just couldn't decide what to do. Sometimes, the game can run at an agonizing 20 frames or lower, and it's even more apparent when there are more rivals on screen. For some unholy reason, Konami just couldn't utilize the potential of this treasure box, and the end result is pretty bad. Remember, you are playing a racing game at high speed, and you need to have fast reaction to overcome the corners. But due to the frame rate deciding to have a mind of its own, your experience will be hindered, which brings me to the next point. The draw distance is pretty bad. Tons of pop-in that doesn't allow you to see what's ahead. Yes, there's a mini-map below, but when your eyes are always forward, you can't always rely on it. As a result, due to the jerkiness of the frame rate along with the poor draw distance, you won't have the precision to make each corner nicely, and it won't take long to have motion sickness. And that's what I had after playing this. It feels so disorienting trying to race will face the ongoing dilemma. And things like this is why I never play on first-person view. I'm not sure if this issue is present if I ever see the arcade version, but here, it is not fun at all. Fortunately, there's an announcer that tells you where to go, so I guess there's a redeeming value. And also, the soundtracks are surprisingly good. Although I'm not a techno music fan, I gotta admit it certainly makes me feel a little better, but not enough to save the issue I mentioned earlier. So what about the gameplay? Well, for this one, it's actually decent. You took part in 3 laps each. Yes, 3 laps, not 2 laps. When you cross the line on the first lap, the game will say 1 lap remaining. In the world of motorsports, if there's 2 laps to go, that means, well, 2 laps. When it says 1 lap, well, it's the final lap. Pretty simple. So when you play Speed King, don't get confused thinking there's only 2 laps. You will thank me later. Controls are pretty decent as well. X to accelerate, square to brake, not that you need it, triangle to change wheel, that's it. Oh, you are also accompanied by the shoulder button that tilts your ship sideways to navigate through tight corners. But like I said earlier, you don't need this. Why? Because the physics are questionable to say the least. I don't know if it's because of Konami being inexperienced with console port, but they don't seem to present a good dish at all. Whenever you collide with a wall, your ship still moves forward while maintaining some speed. You will only come to a dead stop if you run straight into the wall. And here's the thing. By positioning your ship in a good angle while you approach the wall, you can still keep the speed. Like nothing ever happened. You can hit every wall and still win if you know what you're doing. Just like Burning Road, where you can just bounce off the wall and keep going when you put the car at the right perfect trajectory. In other words,
cheese.
You cheese the game and win. Hey, you wanna know what's easier? In this track, there's this one section where you can literally let go the controller and the ship moves on its own. Yep, very easy. Konami, what are you doing? I play the game on easy and normal difficulties, and let me tell you, the game is a cakewalk, and the game as a whole only takes 10 minutes. 10 minutes. You finish all the tracks, watch the credits, and that's it. That's the entirety of the game. Oh yeah, there's also battle mode where you race one-on-one with other rival to try to unlock their cars. I mean ships. God damn it. You can unlock Twin Bee, this thing, and of course, Weak Viper from Gradius. Oh sorry, Gradius. Deal with it. It's as if Konami franchise hero all decide to take a break and come to this city to race. What a bizarre crossover. Haha MCU, eat your heart out. And that's Speed King from Konami. A pretty average racing game. I don't know what happened at Konami during that time, but all I know is that no one seems to know what to do with this game. The game struggles to run for the most part, and it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Bad draw distance, awful frame rate, along with easy competition really ruined the experience of this game. For a 1996 game, this is embarrassing. The same year, Resident Evil, Crash Bandicoot, Formula 1, Wipeout XL came out. And this is the best you could do? Come on! Hell, even Manx TT Superbike and STCC look better than this. Overall, I do not recommend this game. Whether you are looking for an alternate F-Zero game or finding a racing game in general, just avoid this. I guess the game itself is so rare that no one cares to preserve the arcade machine and no one wants to play it. For the better of Snatcher City, I guess. Thanks for watching.